Hello everybody, I hope you're having a great day or night no matter where you are. Welcome to or welcome back to the channel where I like to expand the conversation about RPG gaming and gaming in general. I'm Vital Sports. I wanted to have another RPG gaming discussion about the collaboration with EA and Marvel Games to make 3 new upcoming games. The announcement came from both of their Twitter accounts. Marvel and EA are making at least 3 games for their new partnership. Gaming news and reports have said that the first from that collaboration will be Iron Man. Now, I'm not covering Iron Man in this video because I'm discussing ideas for a possible new RPG game from both of them. First, I have to say, one of my favorite all-time Marvel games ever is Marvel Heroes Omega. This game was an MMO RPG style game where you had at least 60 plus heroes and their powers, different costumes, and skill trees. Not to mention that this was an action beat 'em up looter where you can create awesome character builds. The player hub was at the Avengers building where you can team up and go out on missions, fight famous villains, but you had a story for each of the heroes. Each mission objectives were different for each hero depending on the story relating to them. I started off with Moon Knight and Daredevil, and I had to tackle enemies in a different way to earn skill points for their particular character builds. That's in addition to the main story and multiple side quests. Marvel Heroes Omega will probably be my top Marvel game thus far because of all the depth and fun this game had. It had character voices, arch enemies for certain heroes, and they would voice out lines depending on the hero you choose. All this was free to play too. Of course, they had a money system for costumes and a way to unlock your powers quicker, but there was never a bother to me as I even purchased some costumes and materials for my heroes. I paid to unlock one of my favorite superheroes, Captain America. I gladly did it and enjoyed playing as him. This game had almost everything I wanted, plus it was an MMO RPG which can be played with many people. Sadly, this game was shut down and I was really upset. I haven't played another superhero game like it. I'm hoping EA picks up this mantle. This would make a great game, and you know EA is really good at selling DLC because people buy Madden Ultimate Team every year. Now that's another conversation because I'm also a sports gamer too, but that's just something to get into on the future, a future video perhaps. But the point is, EA knows how to sell their DLC. Free-to-play live service games are really fun if done correctly. Marvel Heroes Omega did that in my opinion. I think EA should think about this for one of their games. Now, if they go the route of a controlled RPG game that is multiplayer, that's not MMO, then I would say add at least 4 to 8 players per group. Like The Division, depending on what mode you pick. Speaking of The Division, that is my action RPG open world template. The new awesome game, Gotham Knights, did this, and to me, it's a 9. I know the gamers will disagree with my score, but for Gotham Knights, but for me, Gotham Knights checked all the boxes, just like Marvel Heroes Omega. Character, build, loot, RPG elements, multiplayer, big maps, great original story, and ease of matchmaking and getting into the game faster with friends. Gotham Knights is great to me because they outline the template of The Division and Division 2. Now, Crystal Dynamics and Square tried this with their game simply titled Avengers, but there were some bugs, issues with that game that kinda killed the hype of playing it to me. One, the map should have been open world. It had linear mission maps that were repetitive. Not only that, but most of the players were upset about the loot being earned not enough or scaled right to the mission difficulty. You play the game really well only to get rare or uncommon loot, rarely giving out epic or legendary. They did release a patch for this, but it still was kind of unbalanced. Couple this with DLC launch delays and issues, plus the roster, even though it was decent, it did not have a lot of the heroes that most of the people wanted from the start of the launch. I'm not sure if Spider-Man had a time exclusive for other Marvel games, but I think I remember he was a time exclusive on the PlayStation. Let me know in the comments if I was right about that. Maybe that's why they couldn't release him right away because of that, but I don't know. But that was a disappointment for most gamers. What Crystal Dynamics did get right, in my opinion, was the story mode. I really enjoyed that. The combat and RPG elements. The graphics was really good and the ease of matchmaking. That's what they did right, EA. So hope you're listening. But the lack of enough post-game content, buggy issues with loot and gameplay, repetitive maps and missions, and the fact that in the beginning you could not have the same hero on a multiplayer team was bad. Some gamers like certain heroes the best. So if there are 3 Spider-Mans or 3 Wolverines running around, who cares? Let them enjoy. Now there are the issues from the launch of the game. Those are just the issues from the launch of the game, EA. So I just want you to pay attention to that. Gamers want a complete game from the launch date. Now with that said, patches to fix things or add things to the game after launch are always welcome. But $70+ is a lot to ask for games that do not meet all the criteria, and especially after it was hard for players to get the systems. Still, not easy to get the systems, but I read and heard that it is getting better. A quick side note to gamers to support what I'm talking about: people really don't play about their entertainment. I worked for a cable or satellite company in the past, and it was one of my first calls with me and my trainer at the time. Well, as we were walking up to the place, there was a huge commotion, and this woman had kicked her husband out right there in front of us. We didn't even knock on the door yet as we were walking up. So he had a few choice words and left. Now me, as a rookie, thinking that this lady was distraught and maybe she would want to reschedule, but she said, heck no, and to get our butts in there and get her TV shows on. People will forgive an ambulance for being late, but when their entertainment is compromised, sheesh. That's the same thing with gamers, but that's another time, gamers, to talk about that. EA, if you outline the template of other successful games, you can make this work. Live service games, you always can add DLC with new missions, story modes, etc. Please also use the open world model too, because it's always better when a single huge map or 2 comes alive with different crimes or threats than you have multiple single linear mission maps that will get repetitive. Yes, in theory, both open world maps and linear maps get repetitive sometimes, but there is a difference when a map comes alive with different crimes and activities to do. EA, give me at least 3 huge maps for the Quinjet to travel to and let them come alive with crime to stop, and it will be a great start for you. I'm going to end this video, but feel free to continue discussion. Like and subscribe, as it does help the channel continue the conversation. Remember, gamers, pray, enjoy life, and pick up a controller, because it's always a great day to press start. Bye.